I am lucky enough, I'm blessed to be able to help all of us and our publics understand and collaborate and connect up with other justice seekers so that we can become even more effective in promoting the gospel justice. You know, they're about human dignity. They're about correcting the criminal justice system, about abolishing capital punishment, about recognizing that persons at our southern border deserve to be treated with dignity. Well, the persons that were brought into this country as children and lived their whole entire life here deserve to have a path to citizenship. You know, there was a time in my life after college that I knew something was missing. Some would call this my vocation story. But the short version is God had a plan for me that I was totally unaware of, went seeking to claim my faith as an adult within the Catholic Church, and found a parish community very supportive and was open to whatever might evolve. And after being asked several times to consider religious life and kind of pushing that aside, I found myself drawn to the Sisters of Providence. The personality, the characteristics of the community just fit my personality, my desire to live a large life, live a life that has the potential to really make a difference, a life of service. And I deepened my relationship with God, with Jesus, with that kind of prayer life that's real supportive. And there you go. Back in 1985, I said yes, they said yes, and I started this journey. And when I told my mother that I was going to try to become a sister, try to enter the Sisters of Providence if they would have me, her reaction really caught me up short, because her first words out of her mouth is, "Why would you ever enter a church that treats women so poorly?" I'm like, now this was 1984. My mother really now and mother died in 1995. We called her Aloe Pal, Alice Batista. Anyway, now I know that she was a feminist. I don't think I recognized that back then, but she was in her later years. She raised there were 7 of us, you know, and always lived with in-laws or her own mother. I mean, our household was always open and had an aunt or a grandmother or somebody living with us. It's quite an Italian tradition. Mom was Irish though. Anyway, so she was a feminist, even though I didn't have the words for that back then. So as I entered the community and came to understand and experience the richness of a group of women making decisions for ourselves, having conversations, giving relationships the primacy, not rules. Feminism nowadays, at least in my circles, doesn't really need to be explained. At least that's my experience. Some within the church, within the Catholic Church, be that religious life or otherwise, sometimes needs a little, I get some questions. You know, I have to kind of explain, you know, Jesus was a feminist. Jesus spoke to women, broke all kinds of mores or rules of the day. And I think because Jesus recognized the equality of women and men, the equality of the human family. And so really that's my kind of feminism, where we just speak up and say, wait a minute, you know, like the League of Women Voters, they may not say, I mean, some within that group may not say they're feminists, but the general gist of it is the equality of women. Our community is not unique. The Sisters of Providence, I'd like to think we do a great job of it, but honestly, all across this country, there are religious communities who are paving the way for sustainable living ecological awareness, fighting for immigrant rights. I mean, it's what we do. Because we know, when you pray and study the gospel and study Jesus' message, the message is that everyone belongs. The whole human family belongs at the table, in the working environment. And so when we espouse gospel living, well, justice comes along with it. The work for justice, just like it did for Martin Luther King and other faith-filled persons, not in religious life necessarily, but still following the gospel. I hope that we learn, the Wabash Valley, people in this area, that we learn that we really can make a difference. That to put our efforts together for the common good is a wonderful, wonderful way to spend our life's energy. And whether it's by going to a Cracker Barrel or running for office or becoming a member of the League of Women Voters or NAACP or your faith community, whatever it is, becoming a Providence Associate even, which is another way to share in our charism, in our ministry, that's open to all stripes. You don't have to be of any faith tradition, or you can be, it doesn't matter, married, single, whatever. What I hope is that we can learn that one life does matter. One voice added to the next voice to the next voice can make a difference. So write your letters to the editor, show up at a vigil. If there's a vigil at the courthouse, show up, or write a letter, write a post on Facebook even, or Instagram or Twitter. But do it with civility. Do it with kindness. And you might think kindness when you don't agree with someone, but there's a way to be kind and still point out issues that are contrary to human dignity.